Hello and welcome to the Medical Sales Podcast. I'm your host, Samuel, founder of a revolutionary medical sales training and mentorship program called the Medical Sales Career Builder, and I'm also host of the Medical Sales Podcast. In this podcast, I interview top medical sales reps and leading medical sales executives across the entire world. It doesn't matter what medical sales industry, from medical device to pharmaceutical to genetic testing and diagnostic lab, you name it, you will learn how to either break into the industry, be a top 10% performer within your role, or climb the corporate ladder. Welcome to the Medical Sales Podcast. And remember, I am a medical sales expert sharing my own opinion about this amazing industry and how it can change your life. Jon, what is going on?
Samuel, part 2, man. Good to be back with you.
I love it, man. I love it. Okay, so you got a lot going on. You're an author, you're a team leader, you're killing it at a huge company. Today I want to get into a couple things. Talk about the things you're working on. We got to talk about your books because that's fantastic. And then being in the endoscopy space, I want to see, since your last episode, there's just been a lot of interest in endoscopy. And it got me thinking, people need to really understand what it is, day in the life, what's hot about it, what's not about it. And I think no one's better than you to talk about it. And then we'll get into some other things to dominate the year 2026. Does that sound?
That sounds awesome, man. I'm pumped.
All right. So talk to us about these books. What's going on with these books?
Hey, man, Relentless Sales. It continues to be a bestseller on Amazon. Honored and grateful to have this book out there. So if you are looking for an edge, I mean, it is. I openly, like, if faith is a problem to you, don't buy the book, right? Because I talk about faith in it, but I also talk about the skills and the mentality to be great in sales, in particular medical device, right? That's my background. And man, the book's been awesome. It's been a top 200 seller, top 100 seller on Amazon. So it's been cool, man. So
fantastic. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I know you're working on something else too.
Yeah. Always. So writing is a passion for me. I didn't realize kind of towards this mid part of life, but writing is a passion. And so I'm working on a leadership book, working on a mentorship book as well. And so in between the busyness, those late hours of the night and then early morning is where I get my writing in.
I love it. When are these books expected to be coming out?
Hopefully the leadership book next year, early 2027.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Jon, talk to us about endoscopy. What exactly is endoscopy? What's being sold? Who's being serviced? What's the patient outcome? And what's a day in the life?
Yeah, well, endoscopy is a minimally invasive procedure, right? Where they use a flexible scope to evaluate the internal organs, right? So they have an upper scope, an EGD scope, and a lower scope, colonoscopy, right, is a big part of it. So that's the basics. But we also do highly therapeutic procedures as well. People come in, they're jaundiced, they're really yellow skin, not doing well. We do things through the biliary ducts to really ultimately help people live healthier lives. And colon cancer, as you may know, is the second leading cause of cancer death in America. And it's the most preventable form when properly diagnosed. And so I do think, Samuel, that endoscopy is one of the best kept secrets in medical device. I love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Give us a day in the life of an endoscopy rep.
Yeah, but first off, the doctors are super cool, right? And I worked with Stryker years ago. I worked for their navigation team. So I used to call on neuro, spine, ENT, orthopedics. So I have a vast background with different specialties, and they're all great. And the doctors are all real cool. But GI doctors in particular are a special breed. They're smart and they're humble, right? They're put in the scope where the sun don't shine, right? And so a lot of them are just down to earth, just really intelligent, great human beings. So first off, the doctors are amazing, and day in the life can take different forms, right? And it depends if you're calling more on surgery centers, right? Outpatient, those procedures can be a little bit more repetitive in nature, upper scope, lower scope, right? Rinse, repeat. And then the hospital is where kind of more of the funner therapeutic procedures take place. And so day in the life could look like going from an ambulatory surgery center first thing in the morning to working an ERCP case or working some advanced procedure later that evening.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
how do the physicians see the reps in endoscopy? Is it, the rep's the ultimate knowledge provider in the room because the rep understands that product, or do GIs tend to just kind of default to the rep only if they run into an issue? What's the general attitude?
Yeah. So therapeutically and in the hospitals, we are a very aligned strategic partner. We help the technicians understand the products that they hand the physicians. And we actually, what's so cool about this is we become the product expert and help physicians through these advanced procedures that really we really have a true impact in the hospital space and the AMC space as well, but it's just very more palatable and noticeable when you're in those, ERCP advanced stage biliary cases.
What makes the difference between, speaking to what you just mentioned? Why
Yeah.
is there that difference between the hospitals and the surgery centers?
Yeah, I'd say the surgery centers can be a little bit more rinse, repeat the same procedure. There's typically not that significant of a case. Now, there can be those cases that do arise where our help is needed and guidance is needed during the procedure. But in the hospital, because we carry such a big bag of products,
Sure.
the physicians have so many things on their mind, going into that patient health, number one, right? But how do we best take care of that patient? How do we serve them? And so when we come in, we really help put the staff at ease, put the doctor at ease, and then help navigate our solutions to their workflow and what's needed right there on the spot.
Okay. Now, endoscopy is elective, right?
Mhm.
So, are you working from 8 to 5, or is it from 7 to 6, or is it a little different, or how does it?
Yeah. Yeah, and what's kind of cool is I have both the ambulatory surgery center side and the hospital side. I've got experience in both. And when it comes to the ambulatory ASC side, it is more of you're there by 7 a.m., you're probably done by 2 or 3 p.m.
Gotcha.
You're not getting called back. If something advanced happens or a patient has a bad outcome or something, then they may go to the hospital. Or if you're working a hospital case, those are the sickly patients, right? Those are the patients that need a lot of care. And so those procedures can kind of maybe be more of a later start in the morning and then maybe a later evening type procedure on occasion, depending on how busy the hospital is.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So it's 7 to 3.
I mean, on the ASC side, you're finishing up those. The doctors want to get out, right? A lot of times they're going over to the hospital afterwards too. So
What's it like on the hospital side with the hours?
yeah, I would say, again, they can be early starts those mornings. A lot of times they are, but I would say it's a little bit those ERCP procedures, the therapeutic procedures, they typically start a little bit later in the day because they need, or later in the morning because they need the nurses to all be ready, everyone from the hospital staff to be there. And so those procedures are probably late morning to kind of evening type work.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, as far as work-life, family balance, it's there in endoscopy. You get that
It
work-life balance.
It is. It absolutely is. Work-life balance is there. It's work hard, play hard. It is my boss and mentor loves to say it's a lifestyle, and it really is.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then with endoscopy, are you getting really close to your physicians, and your life is kind of intertwined with their lives, or is it mostly just professional and it's very separate? Different specialties, it looks different. What is it like for endoscopy?
Mhm. Yeah, I would say we become part of the family in endoscopy. Yeah. So we're the reps that I work with, and we're as tight as it gets with physicians, and so they become family, friends, all the above. And when you help them during a procedure, they may not mention it,
Sure.
but a lot of times they'll give you that fist bump afterwards and say, "Hey, thank you," right?
Yeah.
And when we're the guide and make the physicians and the patient, the hero, like that's our job. So our job's not for shine; it's to be the guide and help where we can. But it's really fun, man. It's a special industry.
I love it. And then for those that want to get into endoscopy, what type of person usually performs the best in endoscopy?
So I would say someone number one that those truly care. A lot of people say this, but they don't mean it. I actually mean it, Samuel. Patient first. You really do have to have that desire to help others. And you have to check yourself each week. So when we get off course and we start getting overly money driven or these other things, which are important, we got to pull it back to patient number one. So I would say, like, check your mind, check your heart going in. Like, we've got to really put patient first. And when we do, everything else flows from that. But someone who cares about patient, wants to win, cares about the science a little bit as well. Like, we're always learning. And so that's what I love about this job and why I've been in it so long. It's you're always learning. And so someone who cares about learning, and then, like I said, wants to help advance, their company's products to best serve patients. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Taste of endoscopy. All right. Well,
Let's
thank
go.
you for that. No? All right. So it's 2026. As an endoscopy sales leader and someone that has a team, let's get into maybe 6 things that you better be doing in 2026 if you're going to be successful. Talk to us.
Yeah, man. Well, what got us here won't get us there, right? So we've got to continue to evolve. And so one of the things I love doing this time of year, where it's the end of the year, beginning of a new, I love to create kind of a one-word theme to really guide me that year. So I create a personal theme, and I also create a theme for my team. And so, constantly reinventing ourselves is so important. And, one of my mentors and friends, Mike Weinberg, wrote the book New Sales Simplified, which is a great read. He really highlights, the being a hunter, a true sales hunter, right? And he says there's zookeepers and there's hunters. And I think we've got to create new business for our organizations. Like, that's why we all have a job, right? Patient, they always come first, but we're in business to help, advance our company's goals as well. And so my one word for the year is hunt. That's where my mindset has come to.
Talk to us a little bit about what does that mean exactly? If I'm a rep right now, I'm looking at this and I'm like, you know what? I'm showing up bigger and badder this year. And I hear that Jon has just advised me to be a hunter.
Yeah.
What specifically are you having me do?
Man, organize, right? We don't hunt where the deer aren't. We hunt where the deer are, right? If you're a hunter or turkey hunter or whatever you're hunting, right? So you got to go where the business is. And so organization really is a key. And I love this time of year because this is the time of year where any good organization is having those beginning of the year summits, as some people might call them. This is the most important part of the year because everything else flows from this time. So organize is the first thing I would say. Okay.
So to be a true hunter, got to be organized. You got to be clear on where to get your business in your territory.
Totally. And in the book, we talk about what I like to call squeegeeing our territory. So if you imagine, someone with a squeegee on a window, right, cleaning a window, if you don't know every opportunity and what it's worth in your territory, you're doing it wrong. And here's the gut check, Samuel. Most people know that that's the truth, but most people aren't willing to do the pre-work and hard work to go through every single account and look at every single opportunity. So that's a little gut check for everybody. A lot of people are like, I know that, but the question is, how well are you doing it?
Okay, so let's talk about it. Why do you think why are people not actually taking the time?
Well, my theory, and I know from experience because I'm test dummy number one on my side, is it's hard, right? We get busy. The first of the year jitters start. We want to get going. We want to start running. And then we fall back in. We're creatures of habit. We fall into the same patterns over and over and over again. And we don't break those habits. So a lot of times reps like, I'm busy. I get one little day. I got to take care of my kid. I got to take care of my wife. Like, you want me to stop and organize my territory and quantify every opportunity in my territory? Yeah, I think that's what the best of the best salespeople do. And so I call it Operation Squeegee. And that stemmed from a conversation I had with one of my top producers years ago, where he came to me like, Jon, I sold everything. Like, I got nothing else to sell. Like, what do you expect from me? And I told him, let's take the weekend, let's relax and come back on Monday. And when we circled back up on Monday, this was formed. I was squeeging my windows over the weekend. That's where it came from. Right. And I said, we need to quantify and make sure that every opportunity is accounted for. And when we did, we found out he had a whole heck of a lot more opportunity than he thought.
I hope you're enjoying today's episode. And I want to let you know our programs cover the entire career of a medical sales professional. From getting into the medical sales industry, to training on how to be a top performer in the medical sales industry, to masterfully navigating your career to executive level leadership. These programs are personalized and customized for your specific career and background, and trained by over 50 experts, including surgeons. Our results speak for ourselves, and we're landing positions for our candidates in less than 120 days in top medical technology companies like Stryker, Medtronic, Merck, Abbott, you name it. Would you run an Ironman race without training and a strategy? You wouldn't. So why are you trying to do the same with a medical sales position? You need training, you need a strategy, and you need to visit evolveyoursuccess.com, fill out the application, schedule some time with one of our account executives, and let's get you into the position that you've always dreamed of. So this brings all my attention to one part of this. And you have a team, and you've had a few teams, Jon, so you could really speak to this. Do you see a difference between reps knowing how to do that and not knowing how to do that?
It's a little bit of both, right? There is probably a lack thereof coaching piece, I would say, but then a lot of them know that they kind of sort of need to do that. That's why I wrote the book to kind of show people the way, but a lot of them don't know how to do it. And so I that's my passion, man, is to show them the way. And so once we squeegee, then we organize and create an effective, I call it the zone territory. It's an Excel document. I've got a free download on my website. You take it in a zone, and then you narrow that down to a weekly attack list. It's kind of a 1, 2, 3 mentality.
Give us one.
Yeah.
Memorable success story of a rep that was not doing this. Took your zone approach and experienced significant success.
So just one?
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Give as many you want, but I mean,
yeah.
One that come off the top of your head because
no. This is one where I don't want to sound arrogant in any way, shape, or form. This is one that, like, is proven, right? Like, every single rep that I've been fortunate to work with that has implemented this has been successful.
That's good.
Right.
All right.
It's just all of them from top to bottom. And it makes intuitive sense, right? If you know, for example, if you know there's $4 million of opportunity in your territory on the high end, and you say that's pie in the sky hope, and you narrow that down, 2 million is kind of, these products at these accounts is probably like a little bit of a stretch, but my quota is $500,000 this year. And I know that these 20 opportunities are worth $800,000. The level of confidence that you would have to go out at those opportunities to crush your plan for the year, it's the clarity is just there. And so when you know what you're hunting and going after, you're way more prepared to go out and accomplish and then do that, rinse, repeat successfully each year.
Okay. I'll take it. All right. Okay.
Does that make sense, or is that confusing at all?
No, it makes total sense. I mean, you didn't really give us a story of a rep that did this, but
yeah,
it does make sense.
Because quite honestly, all of them have been successful with this, year in and year out. It's more of a system, right, than it is. But, names, keep people's names, respected. But every territory I've had.
Scenario, and I guess here the question I have is, reps that have adopted this, where they've been in the game for years and they adopted this and saw something different, or has this worked more for reps that were kind of fresh and they didn't really know where to go? They adopted this and then they found success. What's been there?
Here's an example for you. You ready? I had a rep who was very new tenure, 2-year pharma rep that went into medical. I hired this individual because I was covering a state where I needed someone that's not an area of the state where people wanted to live. But we had a massive opportunity for this individual here. She graduated sales training. And I remember this like it was yesterday. She looked at me like, cause I'm a very involved manager, right? And she's like, "Hey, Jon, like, just to be honest with you, 2 years pharma, like, I don't know how to get into the economic conversation with my customer." Like, almost with tears in her eyes, like, "Dude, I don't know how to do this." So we created a plan for her, but she did this. She squeegeed her territory, right? It was somewhere in the range of like 3.4 million that she found on the high end. She needed about 300 to 400,000 to hit plan for the year.
Wow.
We put her strategically in the market near the account we needed her at. So she was always in there. So weekly, right? She finished the year in P Club. So she was a top 5 rep that year. And she won President's Club that year. And she was like 3.5 years out of school. So a very new rep. And so as you can imagine, man, the excitement I had for her was through the roof.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. Give us number 2.
All right. So this one is speed, right? We see entrepreneurs talk about this. We see business people talk about this. A lot of times what I see is, what's the saying? Like, imperfect action beats perfect inaction all day.
Every time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my theory and my thought is most people wait till all the lights are green before they hit go, before they want to back out of their driveway and go. And every opportunity has an excuse, right? Like, "Oh, I can't because of this. I can't because of that." And it's kind of like you got to have a mentality of imperfect action, and speed is now clinically, that's not the case, right? Clinically, taking care, making sure you know your stuff and that patient is served so well and those physicians are served well. Well, that means having your backup rep on speed dial. And you're like, "Hey, I'm going in this case. I need you, be ready for me." That's a different story. But from a business perspective, speed. I think speed is an X factor this year that most people aren't working on. And so if I have 10 opportunities, Samuel, and I'm moving those forward and you have 2, I feel more confident, all things considered, that if I'm actively working those opportunities and inching those up, I'm going to be more effective by year's end than you are because of the speed and breadth of attack.
So, okay, again, let's dig in a little deeper. So,
yeah,
say speed. Okay, a rep that's not utilizing speed, what are they doing?
I think a lot of them are spending time with their comfortable accounts. They're going to the same accounts that they walk in and they're like, "Saying, no, what's up? Like, how you doing?" And they're friendly house accounts. But the reality is they probably already have the business there, or they probably already have the majority business. And so we got to realize it's humans, we're emotional creatures, right? Like, we want to go where we're liked. And my theory and my experience has shown that a lot of reps want to go where they're liked and where they can get that emotional dopamine hit rather than go into the spots that are not as comfortable.
So speed to new business?
Speed in everything in 2026. Like, if our speed is at a level that beats 2025, as long as we're moving towards the right things, we're going to be more successful. If we organize first, right, and know the opportunities, and then we're taking massive action, we're going to be more successful than those that aren't taking massive action. So I would say speed, macro. How fast are you going this year? And do you think you can speed it up? Or are you waiting for all the lights to be green, i.e., I need this guy to say yes before? Are we just making excuses for ourselves?
Okay. So I guess I can look at it like, number 1, find out where the business is. Once you've identified that, if you find out that a lot of them are not your top accounts and you're uncomfortable because they're new to you, use speed to get there anyway and do what needs to be done.
Yeah, I think it's a good recap.
Okay. Number 3.
I'd say protect your time. Protect your time, man. How many? I guarantee everyone's got hopefully 10 and 2 right now. Those are driving, right? So I want to keep everybody on the road. But how many reps are driving right now? And looking back on 2025, and a key objective for me in 2026 is I'm going to be as open to my personal team and customers as possible this year. But how many wasted hours were on a call that should have been an email, or a rep that wanted to call you and vent, Samuel, from nowhere, whatever state that's not even in your region, and you took an hour out of your day to vent about an opportunity that doesn't affect you at all. So my number three piece of encouragement would be protect your time. And I guarantee there's people right now shaking their heads saying, amen, hallelujah. And I need to do that.
So as a rep, don't get caught up in the gossip. Don't get caught up in the vent magnets. Protect your time.
Revenue generating activity. Is this a good use of my time? Is this advancing my goals this year? Is this advancing the company's goals? Is this advancing our patients' goals? Probably not. If we did a self-audit and we looked at 2025 and we just came up short in quota for 2025, I guarantee it's because people didn't protect their time enough.
So considering your manager, would you say that your team is very reluctant to vent to you? Like they rarely do it because they know that one of your MOs is you got.
No, I think my team, we've got a family environment. I think after a little bit of while, like if they're playing a victim card continually with me, I'll be like, hey, I'm not the person for that, right? Like I love you, but I'm not the person for that. I think when you have a healthy and high performing team, there's totally room. I'm going to be protect my time is for anybody outside of my team and my direct supervisor, right? Nice. My team gets all my time. And so if they want to call and talk about whatever, their time is my time. My most important asset is my team because they're out there serving the patients and serving our customers. So the only person that's going to get unlimited amount of time in my world is my immediate sales team. Now, internal teams, I want that meeting 15 minutes or less. Like, what do you need? Be brief, be bright, and be gone, right?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I get it. I do. I know exactly what you mean. All right. Number 4.
I think this one, Samuel, I've been thinking about quite a bit is winning systems. James Clear in Atomic Habits talks about systems, right? When we create a new system, like how just one small system can change our lives. So for me and my wife, we got a sauna this year for our garage, right? We got one of those nice. We invested in a sauna. And so for us, from a health life perspective, like when the kids go down, like sauna, right? Or, before the day for me, like I'm going to get in the sauna before I work out. And I've added that system to my routine to hopefully live a healthier life, right? And so what can we do in our work to create winning systems? There's a lot of internal work that our organizations give us, right? Busy work, some might say, or admin work. And so can we create a system to where we're opening our computer before we hit the ground running and spending 30 minutes knocking out follow-ups, emails, whatever at, call it 6:30 or 7 a.m. every day before we hit the road at 7, and rinse, repeat that. And I think what happens is good systems, they compound and they lead to better working conditions. And so that's what I would challenge everybody with is what winning systems can you add, to your routine this year to be more successful?
Gotcha. Are there any universal systems that you would advise anyone to just definitely add if they're not doing it already?
Yeah, I mean, what we talked about earlier in the year of taking a yearly deep dive into their planning, right? That's a system I have that's more of an annual system that leads to more of a daily, weekly activity system in our zoning our territory and creating weekly attack lists of what they're going to do. So for me, that's kind of like number one in my mind. Well, absolutely, man. I don't think we should be doing non-selling activity during key selling hours. So from 10 a.m. or 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., if that's peak time for whoever's listening, we probably shouldn't be doing any expense reports. Maybe at 2:30 or 3, knocking out the expense reports then is probably the best use of our time.
Okay. No, hey, that I'm laughing because it sounds obvious, but to your point, a lot of people don't operate that way and they should be. So that's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Yeah, man.
Okay. All right. Number 5.
Thinking 2 weeks in advance, I think, is so important. So a lot of people don't, again, we're moving so fast. We don't think 2 weeks in advance. And so we don't plan 2 weeks in advance. We think a lot of times it's like first thing in the morning, we're scrambling for our phone. Like, what am I doing today? What am I going to do? And a lot of people just don't spend that time. And so I think carving out a weekly time during your schedule, again, whether it's end of day on Friday, maybe one day you don't have clinical cases and you've got a good window where you can be productive. Are you looking over the fence and planning out the next 2 weeks?
Why 2 weeks?
I think that's the capacity. I mean, obviously we should be continual planning. If something comes out, we know we have something in a month from now, that's great. I think 2 weeks is that special window where we can really be, if we're always doing it, right? This week I'm planning the next 2, next week I'm planning the next 2 after that. I think that's how we stay minimally tight with our schedule.
Got it. Okay.
It can vary though. I mean, depends on what business you're in and where you're going, but it can absolutely vary.
Sure. All right. And last but not least, number 6.
Number 6, man. I think this is pretty big. We already talked about the zone territory, which we'll put that in point 1. But I do think that competitive greatness and that will to win is so important.
Competitive greatness and will to win. Talk to us about that. What do you mean?
Yeah, it's funny. One of the podcast guys that I follow was talking about there's nothing casual about winning, right? Like there's nobody who thinking about your business, Samuel, or anyone like no one casually wants to win and actually wins. And so, man, if we're suiting up to go out and serve our patients, our physicians, our accounts, man, we want to win. And I think that competitive greatness, I think we're seeing that in the world. We're seeing a shift in corporate America that's moving back to heavy. We're here to have fun and do good things and be great people, but we're here to win. And I think that competitive greatness, Coach Wooden coined that phrase, John Wooden, key basketball coach. But I think no one's ever won by just being casual about it. And so if you're listening right now and you want to win, believe in yourself, fuel up pick up a resource that can help you be better, but commit to wanting to win and go after it and put in the work. And because there's nothing casual about winning. We've got to go for it. And a guy on my team coined the phrase. He was like, "Hey, and John, winning is fun." And I thought about it. I was like, winning is fun, isn't it? I mean, what team, what basketball team or sports team have you been a part of where you guys just stunk and weren't very good? That was fun. Not many.
Right. Okay. Winning, competitive greatness, and winning is fun. I like it. All right, John. These are the six. What do you call them? The 6 what?
I don't know, man. The 6 secrets to success in 26, baby.
You know what? I like it. The 6 secrets to success in 26.
That's a tongue twister, isn't it?
You know what? But we got it out. This was fantastic. This is some true insight. Everybody that's listening right now, please make sure you get John's book. John, where can they get this book?
Amazon.com. Relentless Sales. Would love for you to pick up coffee. And if you enjoy it, shoot me a note. Would love to catch up with you afterwards too.
I love it. John, always a pleasure chatting and wrapping it up with you, man. You're going to have an amazing year in 2026. Everybody get that book, Relentless. It's on Amazon. It's an easy grab. And John, thanks for the time.
Samuel, thanks as always, man.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And remember, I have a customized and personalized program that gets you into the medical technology industry as a sales professional or any type of role for that matter. Become a top performer in your position and masterfully navigate your career to executive level leadership. Check out these programs and learn more at evolvesuccess.com by visiting our site, filling out an application, schedule some time with one of our account executives, and allowing us to get you where you need to be. Stay tuned for more awesome content with amazing interviews on the Medical Sales Podcast.